Why has doing anything that is good for us or needed in order to feel better actually becomes so hard for most of us, including myself? And this is something that I want to explore in today's video of the Doism series. And the solution to this is something I like to call the degree of contextual differentiation. And I'm not even joking when I say this could absolutely change your life. And I know this is an irregular format on YouTube, but you absolutely won't regret staying till the end, I promise. And the best way to explain this is by giving you a short example. So you are at home, you are in your office room or living room or whatever, you open up the MacBook, you open up a browser, and in the browser you type in something using the same keyboard and mouse to watch YouTube, right? Which would be a not so great thing to do, other than watching my videos, of course. But now let's look at activity number 2. You are at home, you are in the same room, you open up your MacBook, you open up the browser, and then you do an activity, which would be writing emails or getting work done, which would mean the activity would be work that is beneficial for you, that you need to do in order to earn money. But what you see here is the degree of contextual differentiation, right, is almost zero. You do exactly the same activities to do like very different kind of work. The location, the environment is the same. The activity, opening up the browser tab and typing in and using your fingers and your keyboard, is exactly the same. And the object of using the MacBook or the things you interact with are also the same. Like everything is the same. And now let's imagine that we have another activity that looks completely different, that is, for example, something we would do in order to achieve something where we go to a different room, we use another device, we open up another browser that we usually don't do. We maybe even like paint like the way I do right now instead of using a keyboard and all of this. And at the end, we end up with, let's say, content creation, for example. And the degree of contextual differentiation is almost 100%. Like everything I do right now by creating this video is completely different from my regular kind of work. So the whole process of getting into the thing is completely different. And you can understand why, correct? So what I want you to do is think about all the things you do before you take the action. What's the location? What are you using? Where do you do it? What other things are different? Like, what's the context of your work and how can I make it different? And now imagine, and you almost always have that. For example, you go to the library to study instead of staying at home, which means that the thing itself has a different impact depending on how early you make the change, right? Another example would be that if you have almost the same things all the time and then only at the end you change something, your whole system, your whole brain, your whole dopamine system won't be able to catch up on it. Like it's not learning really what the differences are, and your whole body cannot adapt to the new kind of work. But then, for example, if you like change the things right from the beginning, where you take like different action steps towards a completely different activity, your whole system will know that. And your whole system will understand that this is an activity that is good for you and that is one that is bad for you. And you can even go once further where you say, okay, instead of like doing almost the same from the starting point, I'm actually going into like a completely different direction, right? I'm not even using the same device. I'm not even like, I'm trying to make everything, like the whole thing, as different as possible. So the degree of contextual differentiation means ask yourself, what are the things I do before I take the action, and how can I make the degree as high as possible? How can I change as much as possible from one action that is beneficial to me to another action that is not? And that will completely impact everything you do. I promise you this. So let's decode your degree of contextual information. Like it's in the name actually, decode, degree of contextual differentiation. What's the location you use? What's the device? What's the browser? What's the interaction? Like, how do you interact with the thing? What's the medium? What kind of senses are being demanded? What are the colors or the color field you're using? What kind of music do you listen to when you do that? What other kind of rituals do you have in place? Like getting a beverage or like going, like doing certain kind of steps or whatever. What kind of people are you with? And so on. There's like an endless thing, but they're all tied to this: the where, the what, and the how. And if you can change those three things from something that is addictive or bad for you, right? And make them completely different, like completely different, change the degree of contextual differentiation for something that is like not an addiction, but like work or creation, something that is good for you, something that has a positive outcome on your overall being, right? Then you will have way more success, and everything, like any activity you do, will be so much incredibly easier for you to do. So that in the end, your focus will go up, procrastination will be a thing of the past, distractions are not there anymore because you're in a different environment. Your output will go up, and that's the most important thing. Your overall satisfaction will go through the roof. If you've liked this video, consider giving me a thumbs up. Otherwise, feel free to subscribe and more amazing things will come. I promise. See you soon.